Since Marconi 100 years ago, we've been steadily crowding the airwaves, pumping out more and more energy across the electromagnetic spectrum. Everywhere we are surrounded by cell phones, wireless networks and transmission towers. We are irradiated by these devices and by hundreds of television channels from terrestrial and satellite sources. We have little idea of the effects of this radiation on the human body or on the environment. What if, out there, we had inadvertently spawned and nourished a new ecosystem of organisms that thrive off our broadcast energies? Couch Potato Farm investigates the flourishing, if hypothetical, ecosystem that has grown to exploit our profligate transmissions. New life forms were first detected by noticing strange color anomalies in television signals, as you can see here. By investigating these signals, we have been able to examine this non-physical ecosystem and identify two kingdoms of organism. First to appear were the so-called potatoes, static organisms that respond to the television signal in the same way as plants respond to light, thriving off energy in the electromagnetic spectrum. This video is a visualization of a field of potatoes. In such fields, we have found 3 species of these potatoes, responding to red, green and blue in the television signal. When exposed to television containing these colors, the appropriate plant types flourish, but they wither when the colors are dim. The different varieties of plants compete for space in the ecosystem. In this video of a potato field, areas of bright color indicate the local successes of the different plant species. Dense growth of a plant species has the effect of draining the corresponding color from the television signal, leaving a residual trace of the field's growth on our television screens. It is by detecting this interference that the ecosystem was discovered, and we are able to monitor its development. Over time, a new kingdom of organism was found to have discovered the fertile habitat of television signals. These mobile animals moved in and began to graze the plants, leaving behind swathes of empty ground, or preferentially feeding off one of the plant types and opening avenues for the invasion of the other types. So far, 4 species of animal have been discovered. The animals are seen to reproduce by mating, and species have been observed hunting one another in intense competition for scarce resources. Here we see the animals alone, and here we see the potato field as it is grazed by the animals. When these animal species developed, more complex and disturbing distortions were found in the television signal. One species leaves behind an aura that inverts the image wherever it passes. Others warp regions of the image, while another seems to cause a fold in space-time, leaving comet-tailed regions where the television signal is delayed and we see television from the past. After much observation of the ecosystem and the development of more sophisticated sensing tools, we have also found that the creatures can be sensitive to more than one channel of video. Here we show an ecosystem close to a closed-circuit television surveillance system. Movement in the CCTV signal encourages growth of the field, but repels the animals which seek quieter if less fertile pastures. Couch Potato Farm is an interactive video installation which models an ecosystem that watches television and surveillance video. The work is designed to tease the users of the system into thinking about our continual passive exposure to television and our passive participation in ubiquitous video surveillance. How many of us now live out our lives passively absorbing television like these potato plants, or living out our everyday lives, eating, mating and expiring under the constant exposure to television pictures, covert video surveillance and an ever-increasing exposure to electromagnetic radiation? Technically, the installation is an exploration of a heterogeneous virtual ecosystem with 2 kinds of virtual life form. The first is the potato field, which is a multi-layered cellular automaton immersed in and responding to the complex environment of the television signals. The state of each species at each pixel is affected by its previous state, its neighbors, the current television signal, and the actions of the animals. The animals are a population of active virtual life forms which breed and inherit characteristics through a genetic algorithm, while interacting in complex ways with the field environment. In the face of the harshly competitive ecosystem, with plant food sources waxing and waning and predators roaming nearby, genes of successful creatures are preserved, and the species evolve dominant characteristics. The software to simulate the ecosystem is written in C++ and runs on a Windows PC. Physically, the installation appears as an ordinary television set displaying live television. A nearby surveillance camera supplies video of the viewers to the simulation, which is implemented on a computer, hidden from the gallery visitors. The television viewers quickly become aware of the distortions that the virtual ecosystem is wreaking on the signal, but only slowly realize that their own activity is indirectly changing the distortions. In response to the viewer's movements before the surveillance camera, the installation switches the display to show the rendering of the field, enabling the viewer to look into the inner life of the virtual ecosystem.
Este arroz se ve delicioso, completo y con buena sazón. Ella usa mi arroz Carolina. No sé cómo le alcanza el tiempo. Arroz Carolina.
La Calle 105.9 presenta el Block Party Concert con Zion and Lennox, Ivy Queen, Hector el Bambino, Wisin y Yandel, y hay más. Julio Voltio, Alexis y Pido, Nori, Glory, Chris y Ángel.